guess.
Welcome to Cautionary Tales from the Red Chair. I'm Sam.
I'm Jake.
And let's get started.
All right, so what's been new this week?
Did you hear about that woman who ended up getting the new hands?
No.
A couple years ago, there was a woman who got a rare bacteria that was a flesh-eating bacteria. And it had something to do with she was going down a zip line and jumping into the water. And there was like a log or a branch or something like that that was actually floating in the water as she jumped off of the zip line.
Being reckless.
Yeah.
That's what you get for being reckless.
Well, I guess.
That's why you should stay home, everybody.
Do not leave your house. Just keep listening to pod. Safest thing to do, unless you're doing it where you could get electrocuted. But, she ended up getting a cut or a scrape or something like that where this virus actually started eating away at her limbs. And it was the weirdest thing because, as I understand it, it only happened in one of her limbs, like her leg or her arm, and I can't remember exactly which one it was. But because of the spread of this virus and how much was actually being... Go! Fucking idiot. Okay, so let's backtrack a little bit. So basically what it happened was she got a scratch, and this virus actually started taking, and it actually was a flesh-eating virus. Okay. So what they decided to do was to be real safe about the whole thing. She had to have a limb amputated.
Just one?
Yes, to start with.
To start.
And then they found out that it had already migrated into other limbs. She ended up losing both of her legs and both of her hands, like up to almost the elbow.
Holy shit.
And now there's a company, and the worst part about this, and I couldn't believe it when I actually heard it, they're called iHands.
Is everything fucking technology just called iEverything?
And I don't think it has anything to do with Apple or any of that shit.
It just
they're
makes
called
it
iHands.
It should be called My Hands.
Yeah, exactly. My new hands. Kind of sounds like a little doll or something. Mm-hmm. What do you want for Christmas? My new hands. My new hands. But I digress. No, apparently they are the prototype hands that actually have independent fingers that'll move because of these sensors that they put on the upper arm. So anytime she's going to be using the muscles that would actually control your fingers, it uses those to control the fingers of the real hands. What I was hearing is that the hands themselves were like $100,000 a piece.
Jeez.
But she agreed to be the company's spokeswoman for this, too.
Okay.
So the company actually gave her the first set of these hands for free. And now she's 25 years old, and she's saying that because of these hands, she wants to go back to school to get her master's degree in... it had something to do with...
bioengineering?
No, actually, it had something to do in psychiatry or, something along that. I can't remember exactly
like
what
traumatic stress?
Oh, it was something like...
nothing related to what happened to her?
No, like... humanic psychology or something. It was something weird. Like when I read it, I was going, I didn't even know that was
what is that?
Something you could get a degree in. Okay. But that was her whole thing. I thought that was kind of a cool story of the whole fact of you lose your limbs to this 1 in a billion rare disease type deal,
and then you get to become a fucking android.
Yeah, she's like the first fucking bionic. We have the technology.
Exactly. Is she the $1 billion woman?
Yeah. I don't know. I thought that was a pretty amazing story that they actually donated it basically to her so that they could do the research on her and she could be the spokeswoman, because I'm sure that they're tweaking everything with her, being like, this hurts after a while, or this isn't working,
Yeah, exactly.
So they're probably just going to use her as a test subject for a little while. But yeah, the FDA has not approved any of these things.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I thought it was actually kind of a good story, though. For once, you open up the paper, in my case, reading it online anyway, so there wasn't much paper involved. But, for once, you go to the website, you open up the paper, you look at it, and there's actually a story that's not about some athlete taking a cock pic or sending a text message to somebody, and it's not about how everybody either hates or loves Obama. I mean, it was kind of nice to be able to do that.
Oh, for sure.
It had nothing to do with the Appalachian Trail this week.
That hasn't been for
There wasn't
years.
another Republican that came out being gay or anything. It had nothing to do with that. No. It was heartwarming.
Exactly. But on a completely different note, what was it? Wednesday went down to the Twins game, noon game against the White Sox. They got their asses whooped. What is it, like 9-4 or something? But, beautiful day at the park. What I thought was hilarious was the bunch of, because it's, end of school season, so a lot of the schools from around, Minnesota, came and brought,
Senior ditch day?
Well, no, they're more like middle schoolers, at least that were sitting in our section because we had the way nosebleeds.
Oh, so you were swearing up a storm?
No, because I don't care about baseball, so I wasn't swearing at all. Yeah, from way up in left field,
yelling as loud as you can.
No, but the nice part was it's easy to get beer.
Throwing kids at the ump.
Yeah, but the funny part was because the school that was right in front of us was Proctor Middle School from Proctor, Minnesota.
Did you heckle them?
No, but the weirdest part was
Rocky Team sucks.
And the only reason I don't even know why I noticed it was Proctor, probably because they're all wearing Proctor stuff. But the weirdest part was the next day I stumbled across an article on the fucking internet about Proctor police cannot get enough ammunition, so they asked the citizens to sell them ammunition.
And probably somebody there was like, I told you Obama's taking our guns.
Exactly. That's the whole thing.
Are you kidding me? Were they actually saying that?
Well, because
I'm sure if they interviewed enough people, they would find that one guy that was going, you liberals are fucking stupid.
Well, no, because
for it.
Well, because the Department of Homeland Security has announced plans to purchase another 360,000 rounds of hollow point ammunition to add to the roughly 2 billion bullets they've already bought over the past year. So that's where the conspiracy comes from, sir. Everybody thinks the DHS, is buying up all the civilian supply of ammunition so you can't get it. Why would they need all that ammo to fight like a 20-year, war?
That wouldn't happen. You don't want to shoot 20-year-old ammo.
But like, what are they doing all this ammunition then? It's crazy.
Did you see the purchase ticket or speak to the one that actually made the purchase, or are you just going online and reading it off that they made those kind of purchases?
There is sources here. I don't know. Man, it just says it on there, man.
If it's the AP, I wouldn't put any stock into it whatsoever.
So, but I mean, what do you put stock in anything really? It's just talking.
The one part that I hate about the AP is nobody's name is ever on it. All it is the AP.
Yeah.
I mean, even you could put something out there like Santa Claus has 3 testicles, so says the AP. And nobody's ever going to be credible or accountable for it because it's the AP. Who the hell are you going to say? Oh, you fucking suck at writing stories. But
that happened to them. They got hacked where it said the president was injured in an attack.
That's why I'm saying if it's the AP, I would have absolutely no stock in the story whatsoever.
But I mean, they're even having hearings in Congress about all the bullets that they're buying. So it's not like this is fringe fucking conspiracy.
Once again, though, is this something that they just brought up because of an AP article and somebody wants to jump on it?
Because that's
the flavor of the month.
No, because that's what they're doing. Is because they want to know why they're buying so many bullets. And right there, you can see the proof of it. The police can't even get fucking bullets. They have to ask the private citizens to sell it to them. That's kind of fucked up.
I would look at them and be like, I'll give them to you. $5 a bullet.
$5 a bullet. I would extort the shit out of them. That's not even a question.
Yeah, I would make it so that the police force really thinks about shooting those bullets. Each pull of the trigger is $20. How about that? You really want to make sure you hit what you're going at.
I thought that was a weird ass story.
I don't know. I think that's absolutely funny myself because I just don't understand why they wouldn't be able to get ammunition. It's not like it's that fucking hard.
Apparently it is. You talk to anybody, they say you cannot get 9mm rounds. You can't get any of the popular ammunition. Even the people
22 rounds are, I'm going to give you that. 22 rounds are really, really hard to get right now. But when I went to the local place that I just bought my last gun at,
yeah,
there was more than enough shells for any kind of shotgun you wanted to shoot. They had 7mm, 9mm. I mean, rifle rounds out the ass except for 22 long range.
Yeah.
22 longs, they had none of them. In fact, they had they actually had a sign up that said that if you want 22 rounds, you should probably get here on this day early, because they were like, that's when we get our shipment.
Yep. That is hilarious.
But they won't reserve ammunition for anyone.
Yeah.
So that's the sign that they had up. If you want these, get here early.
Well, yeah, because even the chief, Walter Wohlberg, made a public announcement that after a bullet suppliers notified him that it would take months from just to get 1,000 rounds. He basically asked the public, and I guess some dude came out and he's like, yeah, I got 1,500 right here. And to quote Wohlberg, the citizens were like, if you need something, we got plenty here. That's just so... Does that just to show... Is it a conspiracy, or does it show the ineptitude of the government?
This is the funny part, is when it says it right after that. I had several other calls from other citizens that said, hey, if you need more ammunition, we have plenty. If I need ammunition, I have citizens out there that will gladly come forward. That's fucking awesome.
So is it because all these citizens in Parker, Minnesota are stockpiling ammunition?
Oh,
that is
why not?
Awesome.
Well, you got to be thinking, though, the guy that had 1,500 rounds, that's not all he had.
Oh,
he was like,
not.
I'm willing to part with 1,500 rounds. I'm not, that's not my stockpile.
Because he's saving up for when they try to take your guns, Sam.
Well, those are the guys that think that Red Dawn is real.
Oh, but see, now Obama can't take your guns because they have a printable gun.
Yep.
Did you see that shit? The fucking, you can machine that out of plastic.
I also heard that guy is in a lot of hot water with the ATF,
yes,
because it's not actually a licensed firearm, and if you're going to be a licensed firearm maker...
But he really is not a maker, because...
Yes, because he put online how to make your own gun.
Yeah, so he's not making it. He's just disseminating the information.
It's just as illegal as putting online how to make your own bomb.
Yeah.
You can't do that. That's just stupid knowledge to pass on to everyday citizens. And to think that with these printers, they're not that much money. I mean, somebody could buy one if you save up for half a year or something like that. Just about anybody, even if you're working a minimum wage job, could afford one of these printers.
But according to their instructions, you're supposed to have a metal firing pin that you make out of a standard nail, and then you're also supposed to put like a 6-ounce piece of steel in there to adhere to like the UN, detectable firearms treaty.
Yeah, well, the actual plans that he first put up there, though, was complete acrylic.
Even the firing pin.
Yeah. The rest of it was actually out of the molded plastic that they use in the printers, but the firing pin was actually acrylic. And he had instructions on how you could actually do that with a standard fish tank. You just take a filing off of that and then file it down to a point where it's small enough to be the firing pin. Because acrylic is something that once it's formed, it's formed.
That's creepy that people would be able to have an undetectable gun that they could take anywhere.
The only thing
is it like a musket though?
No, it shot 9mm ammunition.
But I mean, it's one shot, right?
No.
How many?
He had one that actually had a clip on it. That he had a 3-round clip.
But that's going to be... he made that out of plastic, too?
Yes.
But the bullets would set off the trigger.
That's the only thing that there's no way in hell that you could ever get through. But, I mean, think of how many places you could hide just a bullet.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, just look at the small camcorders that people have nowadays. I mean, just the camcorder itself, you could probably fit 2 or 3 of them in there in different places that had other metal parts that, even if they did an X-ray, you wouldn't be able to distinguish a bullet out of it. So, I mean, you could hide 2, 3 of them, and if that's all the gun takes, because that's what I found, or what I heard his clip is, and it's actually a clip that you have to push up with your finger, because it doesn't have a metal spring in it.
Okay.
So you actually have to use your finger to
almost like a
pressure.
Fucking Nerf gun.
Yeah. And you have to hold the pressure on the gun so that it actually gets the next bullet up there. So, I mean, it's not... probably the most reliable or best weapon out there. I mean, you're never going to see a marksman with one of these things.
It's pretty much one shot, one kill.
I would guess. If you
shoot like one of those little novelty chick guns that they had in the Old West.
You shoot one or two of them out of it, and I'm pretty sure that it's going to be hot enough where it's going to start melting the plastic. The third one, not an accurate shot, I'm pretty sure.
It's a novelty thing. I don't think it's actually going to.
But to look at it this way, you could honestly say that would be something that you could easily get into an area where you could assassinate somebody with. Absolutely. Even if they had metal detectors, even if they had X-ray.
Yeah, everything.
I mean, all you got to do is find a place on you to put the gun.
Yep.
And then find a place or something else that you have that would have metal in it that you could, basically shield a bullet or two in.
Yeah.
And as soon as you walk through that, I mean, the security on the other side's going to be lapsed. They already think they got the guns and all that shit at the door.
Yeah, exactly.
So I understand it. I mean, it was a hell of an idea for somebody, but he should have done his homework before he produced it. Because one thing to produce a gun like that and be like, ha, I beat the system. It's another thing to produce a gun like that, beat the system, and then brag about it on YouTube.
Oh,
like nobody in the government knows what YouTube is.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I was out the other day and they had this YouTube thing.
But didn't Google buy YouTube?
Yes.
So, and Google is part of, the CIA and Google are, together always.
Oh, you fucking conspiracy nuts.
They are!
Next thing you're going to tell me is Bing is the CIA and Google's the FBI and there's that interclash.
They're all the same thing. Even Bing takes their search results from Google. That's been proven.
Yes. That's why I think it's funny when they do those shits where they're like, which one do you like?
Yeah, exactly.
They're both Google. All you're doing is renting their search things and putting the 10th one first instead of the first one.
Exactly.
You fucking moron.
Oh, it's fucking stupid.
The best part about it is the only thing that Bing has that Google doesn't is those little pictures off to the side. Which are
sweet. Their background photos look sweet. I rarely go on Bing, though.
Yeah, me either.
It's just Google's
so much faster.
And it's just so much easier to use. Mm-hmm. I just know how it's set up, and it just looks more pleasing and just used to it. It's one of those sad things that humans are just creatures of habit and familiarity.
Well, not only that, Jake, but we're getting old now.
Exactly. So now we need our comforts. Yep. Our Google homepages.
I mean, think about it. We're still the analog model in the digital world now, so we're still no, I don't let this change. I know Google for 5 years now.
I was around before Google.
I was around when computer screens were green and black.
Yep. And Oregon Trail was the best.
If you wanted a picture on there, it was pixelated.
Like a motherfucker.
And if it wasn't pixelated, it was stick figure.
Yeah. Oh, I remember the first time I played Atari, Pong. It was amazing.
Well, fucking right.
Oh, it was the greatest thing in the world.
Hells yeah, I still remember way back when the first Sega Genesis came out. The 3 buttons instead of 2.
Yep.
Oh my god. 3 buttons. It took so long to figure out, to get out of that A-B thing and go, oh shit, I got C there too.
Yeah, what's this do? And see, I can't do games nowadays. They're too complicated for me. I just don't want to spend the time to learn how to do all that shit.
Oh.
I want to go back to the retro gaming. I got Blades of Steel on my Wii. I love that game.
See, the thing is, though, I'm a PlayStation guy, and the cool part about PlayStation is they've never changed their remotes, other than the L3 or 3 thing where you push the stick in.
Yeah.
Other than that, the new ones have the axis in them too, where you can actually just tilt the controller, and some games recognize that. But they've never changed the controller to the point where these are still here, that kind of stuff. Then when Xbox came out, they changed it where it's almost like, I don't know, almost like the Nintendo controller changed with the PlayStation controller. Like the Nintendo 64 thing is what I'm talking about. It had the 3 prongs. So when people started playing the Xbox and everybody's like, oh, you gotta try this game, it's only for the Xbox. I did that same thing, though. I know what you're talking about. And it's pretty damn close to a PlayStation controller.
Yeah.
But it's still far enough off where when I started playing on it, it was just like, whatever. No, you gotta press these 3 and then that one. Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I just don't care enough. I'm sorry, just don't care. My peak was maybe Tony Hawk.
Well, you played
rocked.
PlayStation.
I know, but I said that would be my peak of PlayStation. It was about Tony Hawk.
I got the Tony Hawk one.
I know, and I can still rock it.
Yeah.
Just out of fucking muscle memory alone. We used to play that all the time, because I think my brother got it for Christmas and over Christmas break.
Yeah.
Like, my mom would leave, go to work, we'd be playing it. She'd come home for lunch, we'd be playing it. She'd come home from work at the end of the night, we'd be sitting there playing it. She's just like, did you guys even move?
Yeah, we got a couple of drinks.
Yeah, couple.
Got some chips.
Yep, yeah, nothing much. Had
And a hot dog.
Had a hot dog.
And a Hot Pocket.
Yeah, other than that, fucking Tony Hawk City.
No, I got one on you, though. You remember the shit that we used to do on Gran Turismo?
Oh my god.
We played that game so fucking much, I can't even believe it. Like, remember when our goal was to get every car in every color? And we were probably 3/4 of the way there, and thank God the new Tony Hawk came out after that. Because then we kind of lost interest in Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo, how many hours are wasted? Especially when you did like those
50 lappers.
Like the 24-hour race where it literally took an hour real time. It seemed like it had to have been more than an hour. We used to take turns. Like,
I take like the first 20, then you take the next 20. Exactly. Your fingers can only handle so much.
Oh,
and when you get into it, like the turns, you actually fucking push the finger as far as the
what was that? The Aston Martin V8 Vantage? That was my ride.
I still remember mine.
What was that?
That was the 69 Corvette Stingray 427.
Nice. I do remember that. What was that one?
Whip that ass end around.
What was that Phantom one that was all curvy and bubbly? That one was pretty fucking legit.
I don't know. I thought that was the V8 Advantage. Anyway, we're kind of getting off topic here.
What topic are we at?
We're on video games, but not dialogue into the video game.
Hey, why not?
Because nobody else knows what the fuck we're talking about right now.
People are playing.
Yeah, they're just looking at it going, fucking nerds. They're talking about all this other shit, and then they get stuck on video games for an hour and a half.
Yep.
And the best part is, all they were doing was bitching about how long they played video games, and they still talked about it for another hour and a half.
Yep, exactly. How much time are you wasting talking about wasting time on video games?
They're not even playing it anymore and wasting time.
Yeah, we don't. Shit, I haven't played that in over 10 years. That was old.
That is great.
Fuck. Let's play some Tony Hawk.
Well, that concludes this.
Come the revolution. Dude, did you hear about that fucking weird story about Angelina Jolie?
Where she got her boobs taken? Yeah,
she didn't even have cancer.
No, they said she had like a 60% chance to get it.
Yeah,
when did they start giving odds on this shit? It's like Vegas betting on it.
And how stupid are you that you're going to adhere to it?
Yeah.
Like, oh, guess what? You have a 100% chance of dying. Well, I might as well kill myself now. Yeah, I mean, that to me is, she's fucked in the head. I'm sorry. That's weird. I don't understand why you'd give yourself a double mastectomy or whatever they call it.
Mastectomy.
And for just because you might have cancer. That, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that would be like me walking into the place and be like, yeah, I would like you to take my testicles and prostate.
But the thing is...
Because I think I might have cancer someday.
And the sad thing is you probably can't even walk in and get a vasectomy because you haven't had kids. And
no, I can't. I've inquired about it. No doctor will because of that fact. Because they say I'm healthy enough and I have a wife.
Yeah, so you might.
So I might want to, and nobody would do it just for the sheer morality of it because I do not have a child. And I think it's awesome. I need to have something I don't want to prove I don't want it.
Yeah, that is. But that just amazes me. But then they'll cut off her tits.
Yeah,
because she's like, I might have cancer.
I have a 60% chance. Oh, they're gone. We should schedule this for after lunch.
That is, I don't know, that's creepy to me. Fucking
But then again, I guess they'll do anything you want to with boobs, because, I mean...
Yeah, they'll make them bigger, they'll make them smaller, they'll take them off. So, well, basically all she really did was just get the real shit removed, and she probably put fakers in. It's not like she's going to sit there with no titties.
Well, you know
her career is over.
Yeah, otherwise it just wouldn't work.
Yeah.
So the funny part about it is I was talking to Leah, I was like, so seriously, that's like the coolest thing that you could ever do with money? Is just be like, you know what? these are 45-year-olds. I would like to take these out and just, trade them in for a new model.
Yeah.
And so she's going to come out of it with a 20-year-old pair of tits here, and
fuck yeah.
Going to be pert again. The best part about it was...
She better show them then, since they're not real.
Yeah, no doubt.
Her next movie better be like just tits galore.
Like I always tell chicks with fake tits, I don't buy a Corvette just to park it in the closet. Or in the closet, in the garage. Yeah, where's my head at?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just park it in the garage. You gotta drive that around town a little while, let some people stare at it.
Show those titties.
Exactly.
That's what I say. That's my motto. Show those titties.
You pay enough for them, you might as well get the mileage.
Should make t-shirts that say that.
Show me your fakes.
Show me your fakes.
Put them on the glass.
You paid for them. Yep. You might as well show them. Well, most likely you didn't pay for them, the girl.
Yeah.
Somebody else probably did.
You got somebody to pay for them.
It's all right, though. More power to you.
I do remember when I was working, just in case there's any kind of backlash on this one, because it wasn't the best ending of our relationship. When I was working at the restaurant that opened in Sartell a couple of years ago, you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I still remember that there was a waitress there that I knew her from a different restaurant a couple years ago, and I can't remember exactly which one it was, but it was always that, like, I know you from some... Yeah. And we ended up finding out, oh yeah, I worked with this place, and it was actually at the Perkins. When nice. You remember when they had the cook walkout, and me and Josh had to go to the Perkins downtown?
Yeah.
That's where she worked, and that's where I knew her from. So right after that, we hit it off, because when we remembered, we only worked with each other for about a week, but it was kind of a flirty work thing.
Yeah.
And so when we got back to the other place, started working with each other, she would start telling me things that I guess I had the right to know because I worked with her at one other place.
What's that?
The one time, and this is the reason that I went into this story, is it just reminded me of this. She actually told me that she was going to get breast implants. And I was sitting there going, me being an itty bitty titty guy,
Yeah.
it's just like, oh, no, you don't want to do that. And she's like, no, I really do. All right, whatever. So she goes in and she gets them done.
How old was she?
She had to be 19, 20 at the time.
That's ridiculous.
But and she was really cute. And then when she came back and she got them done, I mean, they were too big for her. You could tell. She was one of those 105, 110 pound girls.
That's sad.
And I mean, for her body, she did have nice tits.
Mm-hmm.
But she felt that they were too small, so she went in and got them bigger. And personally, like I said, I'm an itty bitty titty guy, so I looked at them and just went, shit, those are like half the size of your head now. And it just does not look good on your frame.
Yeah.
You're going to be taking those out in the next 10 years because you're going to have fucking back problems now. You not understand that that's why you didn't have tits that size?
Yeah, you're not supposed to with your stature.
Chicks your size with tits like that do have to have them reduced.
Yep.
By the time they're 25.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks for walking into this one blindly. And
just because the fucking fashion shows told you need to look like that.
The best part about it, though, was after I talked to her, after she had them done and everything, I ended up finding out at a party that she had paid for these with her college tuition check.
Oh, wow. Her student loan.
Yep, she got her financial aid.
She spent on tits.
She got her financial aid, and she ended up dropping out that semester after getting the financial aid and spending them on tits. So
did she at least strip after this?
That's what I even said to her afterwards. I was like, so now you got to go strip to pay back your student loans that you used on the tits.
Did she take kindly to that?
I don't know. I was trying to manage her, so.
Shut the hell up.
I was thinking, this is my foot back in the door.
Oh, my God.
No, she didn't do it, though. She didn't bite on that hook.
Oh, my God. That is too funny. Dude, I saw this Weird News Huffington Post. This guy, look at the face of this guy here. Jared Weston Walter, 26th. He allegedly gave a female passenger a special protein treatment at 7 a.m. Tuesday. He ejaculated in her hair on the bus. He's been accused of doing it a couple other times throughout the weeks.
That's kind of funny, though.
Exactly. But the best part is he is also has become known as the Trimet Barber because in 2010, he was convicted of cutting off the hair of random bus passengers and spreading super glue on their heads. He's sentenced to 13 months in prison, and now he's out there jerking off in girls' hair on the bus. He needs to be banned from the bus. That's why I don't take public transit. That shit's disgusting.
I'm not over this part. He would cut their hair
and put super glue on it.
And then put the hair back, or what?
No, it doesn't say so in the article.
I just want to know what that was all about.
But do you have like a battery operated buzz clipper, or did you do it via scissors?
Yeah, how do you... Like, there's way too many questions that story poses that I would like answered before I can go on any further with this.
Well, let's just speculate.
Well, I'm just saying, like, do you go down to the scalp?
Yeah, you should.
Are you saying that he just like cuts off a little snippet of hair and then spreads super glue in the other hair?
My thing is, I'm gonna say he has a battery operated clipper. He buzzes them down like hardcore, rubs super glue on their bald little head, and then slaps the hair back on. I think that would be hilarious.
Yeah, but you would know that's happening.
That is true. So it would only have to be like a really. So you have to be quick. Where he probably just like with a little scissors just behind you.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, right when you're about to get off, he's just like super glue.
Then you should push your face against the glass.
See if it sticks.
Just like, and then run off the bus.
Dude, that's so...
Some dude is sitting there like,
oh, it's so gross though.
What the hell is that? I wonder if that was like a sexual thing for him.
Well, he's facing sex abuse, harassment, disorderly conduct, public indecency.
Well, of course now he jacked off in some chick's hair. What I'm saying though is like the super glue thing before. Why would you even? How would you start that? Like, how is it? I've never had those kind of. I mean, I'm a little kinky. Don't get me wrong. I think everybody is.
Yeah.
But I've never thought of something like that where it would just go. Oh, you know what would really get me off? Cutting somebody's hair and putting super glue on their head.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was for
do you remember the, what was it? They called him the ball slasher. You remember that story up in Duluth?
Fuck no.
There was a dude that, they didn't catch him the first time. Nice. It was this fitness club. And you know those...
Oh, those exercise balls. Yeah.
And they had every single one of their balls slashed, but nothing else was vandalized. And then they ended up putting up those cameras, and a couple months later, they came back in and all the fucking exercise balls were slashed. And that guy ended up getting caught, and don't you remember what they were saying? I mean, they were even saying that his direct quote, when they asked him, why is it that you went in there and did nothing but slash those balls? That got him off. Somehow or another.
It's like,
yeah, it was a fetish of his to sit on one of those balls, pop it, and let it start deflating as he was sitting on it.
That is interesting.
So, like, that was his get-off thing, was he liked to sit on exercise balls as they deflated to the ground.
Yeah. That is so weird.
The worst part about it is, do you think, like, when he was doing that, he was jerking it off the whole time? Like, as a police standpoint, you had to watch that video.
And just be like, please don't.
Yeah, I know. Well, at the time that they watched the video, unless he was doing it, they had no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I would honestly say he probably wasn't. Otherwise, they wouldn't have had to ask him why he slashed the balls. You know what I mean? If he's sitting there jerking off as he's sitting on the balls, I'm pretty sure they're
probably two together. Yeah, I think we solved the case, Bob.
Well, there's your problem right there.
Dude jerks off while deflating exercise balls. Case closed.
It's something like that, though. I mean, I've always thought that I was a little kinky and a little on the edgy side, but after hearing some of this kind of stuff, you just look at it. I'm not judging. No. By any means, because some of the shit that I have, I'm pretty sure somebody else would look at it and be like, whoa. But I'm just looking at it going, how do you start that? What was the first time that
sitting on balloons as a child?
That might be a good one.
The feeling.
Yeah, he liked the popping or something like that.
That was his thing. And then he got bigger, he needed bigger balloons.
Yeah.
And those are the only really big balloons that are just readily available for you to just get off on.
Yeah, I still remember he ended up getting a felony on it because those balls are expensive. Yeah, they're like $60 a piece, and he popped like 30 of them.
Sick.
It was an entire fucking workout place where they do those classes. So I'm pretty sure, and those balls are big, so I'm pretty sure it's not like a yoga mat. You don't bring your own to the class.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they probably had a shitload of them, and then just bunches of them waiting in case some popped or...
In case that guy came back.
And this was the second time he was there. They probably had him stocked up in the back, too, being like...
For sure.
I don't know what happened last time, but if they pop again, we got some extras.
We got problems. So speaking of that, what freaky things are you into? You keep saying that you're a little like, brr.
Well, I didn't say I'm a little freaky. I said I'm a little kinky, just like everybody else. I got my things. Well, they're probably pretty close to just about everybody else's, but
like foot fucking.
Do you like masturbating with your feet?
What's the weirdest place you've ever had sex?
In the butt.
Nice. Newlywed game.
Yep.
Nice.
No, on the island that was down where the new bridge is.
Yeah.
On that island.
Before there was a bridge.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Where there was a log that was down so you could get to the outer island.
Yeah.
And we went out there and had sex. So it was kind of one of those things where when you were sitting on the island, you were looking up and going, I wonder if anybody on the bridge can see this right now.
That is.
Of course, they were going so fast across the bridge, probably nobody even cared. They were just like, hey, there's two people sitting on each other down there.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think. Oh, it's just a little girl with her grandfather.
You know what I'm saying?
He's riding, giving her a horse to ride on his knee. Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see. Keep moving.
Keep moving. That'd be so weird.
Yeah, well, it was. For a little while, and then you kind of just zoned out and didn't even care about it. And then it was kind of funny because when it was all said and done, I kind of looked at it with...
Did it help?
What?
Did it help to like take your mind, be distracted, so you know you?
Oh yeah, right off the bat, it was like one of those things where you were looking over your shoulder the whole time because that was right off of a park, mind you.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could hear people's voices every now and then. So it was kind of like one of those things where you're going, any moment now, somebody could come across that little log that fell down. And all you would know is when they like ruffled the tall grass that was right next to you. So literally, they would just walk out like 5 feet away from where we were having sex,
and just get an eye full of cock and balls.
Yeah,
Badussy.
And the best part about that one is I didn't even like think about it, but until afterwards, when we came across the island again, or I'm sorry, across the log and got off of the island. Walked up the hill a little bit, and you know that little parking lot that's sitting there, and that had to be, 100 yards away from where we were? Yeah. There was 2 cop cars sitting there where they were actually talking to each other.
Nice.
So it was kind of one of those...
Was it at night, or during the day?
I'd say duskish.
Oh, so you were still within legal limits to be inside
the park. Be in the park, yes.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it was probably around 8-ish or so when we
probably
started.
wanted to prove to you fucking her back there.
No, but that's kind of what I was thinking as I was looking at it going... I wonder if they were sitting here about, a minute and a half ago, because that's when I was doing the...
That's when I was doing my Sasquatch call.
The vinegar face. Vinegar strokes, that's what it is.
That's why the cops were there. They thought fucking somebody calling a Sasquatch.
No.
There's a Squatch on the island.
Squatch in this island,
Oh my god. That is hilarious.
Yeah, I thought that one was one of those ones where you just kind of went... If there is a big guy up there, he was looking out for me today, because not only did I get some, but them motherfuckers didn't catch me.
Yeah, no shit. That is hilarious. I've never done it outside.
It's okay.
I'm going to have to put that on my bucket list.
But I will say this one, it's
weekend.
dirtier.
Yeah.
Because I remember, we biked down there.
Mm-hmm.
And
so, yeah, you're all sweaty and nasty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, it was the fucking middle of summer, too, man. I mean, shit, it was like fucking 80, 90 degrees out, so of course we were. But I just remember, biking home, and I could feel stuff sticking to my legs and my ass, because I was leaning up against a rock at the one point.
Nice.
And, yeah, so, I mean, you could just feel stuff that didn't really matter at the time, but now that you're not doing it, it's kind of annoying. Now that you pulled up your pants.
Now that you have the rational post-cum mind.
Yeah, exactly. It's just one of those things.
That's the clearest mind you can ever have is post-cum.
I thought it was...
That's how I make all my decisions.
Well, I thought that was proven, though, that that's the one time that a guy's brain has absolutely no function in it whatsoever, is the couple of seconds as you're coming.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. Because
it does, because like the entire world, you don't even have a thought in your head. All you're doing is awesome. Yeah. I think that's like the only thing that goes through your mind when you're doing that is just sweet. I think that's the basis of it.
That is hilarious. Oh, I think the weirdest spot I think I've ever done it was in the hospital.
This isn't the end.
No, this is homebrew.
There.
You don't want to try the homebrew?
Not right now.
Oh, okay.
What's the other one?
Alright, let's go to 42. I'm going to jot that down. 42 minutes. We're going to need to cut. Because I'm going to start in with that crazy sheet.
Why?
What? Cut what? All this?
We're gonna do what?
Nothing. I said I'm gonna start. Never mind. I'll just start up.
Well, you can't just say that though and not have the explanation of what you mean by the hospital. The viewers are listening.
The viewers are listening?
Yep. I said that right. You heard me.
You heard me. All right. Where did that pen go now?
You just had it, sucker.
I know, but where did I put it?
Right next to the control board there.
Oh. Alright.
Proud of that.
Nice. So yeah, I definitely have to say by far the weirdest place. I got some pretty weird places. Besides, I've never had sex outside, but I have had sex in a hospital. And I wasn't even the patient.
I was going to say, that's the best part about this story.
Yes, wasn't even a patient. The girl I was seeing at the time, who will remain nameless because, I don't want to...
Did she sue the shit out of you?
Probably. But it was so weird. She was in... God, this was like 2007. So there's like that super bug going around that she caught. She had like all these flu-like symptoms, so she's in the hospital and shit for like over a weekend. And I just went down and saw her. And
yeah, you went down and saw her.
Yeah, and she was just like, all hopped up on fucking morphine and whatever kind of drugs. And she's just like, I'm so glad you could blah, 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 blah. Needless to say, one thing leads to another. She takes me into the bathroom of her hospital room and just starts going down on me. And then just... and then all of a sudden just like, blah. So I nut in her fucking mouth. And then she comes up and tries to kiss me. And I'm like, And she got so pissed. She just went off on this tirade, like, I'm going to suck you off, and then you're going to kiss me afterwards. I'm like, you need to brush your teeth. I am sorry.
Some Listerine.
So it ended up being, like, sweet, and then I was just an ass and flipped it all around, and then it just ended up being, like, a big fight.
You were an ass. You should have at least tapped her on the head or something.
Like,
here you come.
No, because she was into that.
Oh.
But then that was the first time she would try to kiss me afterwards.
Isn't it called a snowball?
Yes. Well, if she spits it back in my mouth.
Oh!
Yeah, I'm not about that. That's why
and apparently I was not abreast on what a snowball really was, because I thought it was just a kiss afterwards. I didn't know she actually went, here you go.
That's what a snowball.
I didn't know she baby birded you.
No, that's why I wouldn't allow it to happen. And she was so pissed.
Dude, I just literally got goosebumps when you said that. She was back in your mouth. If there was a moment of, I am going to throw up here, that just ran through my mind. Like, that is awesome. I actually kind of looked around and like, the candy jar is about the only thing within reach. Oh, that is nasty.
Very nasty.
See, I'm not that freaky.
Yeah.
That's the reason that it leaves my body. It doesn't come back.
No shit. Oh, that's just disgusting.
Give me that.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's weird.
That's kind of a conversation killer.
Yeah,
that's just kind of like.
Well, it's another one of those things where you actually find out that this is something that you're into. Like, it's got to be just one of those things.
Accidental.
Well, it's either one of those things where you're just like, you know what, I'm going to ask you something here, and don't think this is weird or take this the wrong way. You don't have to do it if you don't want to.
But I hope you do.
But I really hope that you'd put on some stiletto heels and step on my junk. That kind of stuff. Those weird fetishes like that where you're just like, yeah, jump around on my junk with heels.
Please.
It just sounds fun. Don't know why. I mean, are these the same guys that literally would go biking without a seat? Or, I mean...
Or just strap like a dildo onto the metal part that sticks up? I bet you somebody has done that. That would be very comfortable for somebody that likes it in the pooper. It'd give you motivation to get out and exercise. No, you're just giving me this
dead air. Right?
Yeah, you just his place there like, what the fuck are you talking about?
So, what freaky shit are you into?
Bicycle riding with elbow
exactly.
And I got it so when I pedal, it pumps it up and down.
At first, I started with just a normal one, and now I'm up to the fister.
Yeah, exactly.
The wrist now.
The only thing that sucks is I have to stop about every 7 miles and re-lube.
Yep. Otherwise, it looks like I'm painting the road.
That is so gross. Why did you have to do that?
I had to get the black fist just so people wouldn't stare.
Oh, man. Talk about a grueling bike ride.
Oh, that fucking poor gerbil.
What? So now there's a gerbil up there too? Who do you think I'm trying to fist out?
Yeah, exactly. I gotta get that motherfucker out of there. And I figured putting a fist up there's probably, hey you
gerbil, fist right up
you
there.
Come out of there or else.
Don't make me stick the finger up there. Poke you in the eye.
It seemed like a better plan in my head. Everything's better on paper.
Always. Like communism and dildo-seated bikes.
Yep, exactly.
Theory.
You figure this is going to be a good idea until you hit a pothole.
Yeah. Oh, damn. The unexpected ash lashing.
Because biking to the emergency room with a ruptured anus is not as easy as it seems.
And how do you explain that to the attending nurse?
So I was showering, right?
With my bicycle.
I figured my bike is dirty, I should wash it. My nuts are a little dirty, should wash that. They got a little too close.
1 in a million shot.
Yep.
1 in a million.
Little did I know I'd slip on the soap.
Yep.
And I'll be damned if I couldn't get it off, so I just rode it over here. Have the nurse be like, wow, 3rd time this week.
Now it's time to become a 3 and a 3 shot, not really 3 and a.
We need some public service announcements. It's like, do not shower with your bike.
This is becoming.
The more you know.
This is becoming an epidemic. Oh my god. Anal fissures because of bicycles.
Oh, I wonder though. We should really, since the hospital isn't too far from here, we should really try to get somebody to interview on the show and just be like, "So, what's the weirdest thing you've ever taken out of somebody's ass?" And
then they get tell us like, "All right, you can go back to work."
I really don't want to know anymore because I was not expecting that.
That's great.
You're gonna skip to the next 5 minutes of the show and hear him say, "And it was still alive." And hear one of us in the background.
It was terrible. Oh man.
On to the next slide.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that horse wasn't quite dead yet.
No, you beat the hell out of it.
She was a fighter, I'll just say that.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm not looking forward to tomorrow. It's going to be a long day doing that benefit.
Yes.
But it's a good cause. It's a good cause because the one kid, the boy, has, cancer of the stomach. There's some specific name for it. Don't really know.
Cancer of the stomach.
Perfect. And the other one is like some degenerative heart disease, if that's the thing.
Cancer of the heart.
And I mean, she's like 8 months. She was born in December. She's like 8-7 months old, and she's like keeps having surgeries and shit like that.
Here's a good question, and I get called on this one because I have this question. Me and my wife all the time. We do these kind of things. Or is it bad? And I understand, a parent loves their kid regardless of how it comes out. Mm-hmm. But I actually say for kids like that, some of the more humane things to do would actually kind of, let's just put it to what it is, euthanize them.
Yeah. That's a hot button issue right there.
But I'm just looking at it going, really, do you want a kid that's going to come out and have to have 30 surgeries by the time they're 15 years old?
Oh, exactly. What kind of life is that, too? Yeah. You got to kind of weigh that out as to how...
But once you have the kid, you have the kid. There's no second guess. There's no double backing on that. Yeah. If you have the kid, you have the kid.
That is true. So you might as well just kill it now.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's one of those things where... It's kind of weird society thing where it's what the hell do you do?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to seem heartless or anything, but to me, in a lot of these cases, it would seem like it's an easier thing on the kid or the family and everywhere around.
Yeah.
That if the kid was Are you kidding me? Why is the door even open? Go. Good boy. Go. What? That's just stupid.
I know, I told you should. Why would we be doing it here when there's people here? We got a perfectly empty apartment.
We didn't have people here, or at least we shouldn't. How hard is it to stay in a room? Or the other half of the house? We're in one room.
I just came up here to grab a piece of cake. Jesus.
We're podcasting.
Yeah, they don't care. And it doesn't matter.
Alright, so, I mean, to me, it would seem a little more humane to actually euthanize them instead of making them live a life that's never going to end out of hospitals.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to be in a hospital at least 2-3 times a year for the rest of your life. And it's going to be having some kind of corrective surgery to the major surgeries that you had to have the first 10-15 years of your life. Chances are you're going to have a lot of deformities because of this, and chances are you're not going to be able to live your life to the expectations of what a normal lifestyle would be.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have some kind of the deformities that actually inhibit your progression as... a human. You're not going to be able to have a normal job.
That is so cold and calculating.
Well, you know what I'm saying, though?
It's logical, but it's just so cold.
But then again, I think of more of a naturalistic measurement. I mean, a kid like that in the wild would not have made it. Any kind of an animal like that it's born like that doesn't make it in the wild. And I understand the argument of we're smarter than the other animals, and that's why we can do this. But then again, I also do understand the whole fact, especially with how my dad passed and how your dad passed. Yeah. They were trying to do the exact same thing. They just wouldn't do it because your dad didn't have insurance.
Well, and my dad refused all of it.
But my dad did as well. My dad had a no resuscitation, and they did it twice.
Yeah,
and both times
he had really good insurance.
And both times the doctor said he said to. Really? Because when a guy's going into cardiac arrest,
aren't you
really think he's sitting there going, "Save me"?
Well, and that's why he wrote it when he was of good, sound mind and body. Was to let you know this is what I'm my logical head.
Yeah.
Right, not to when I'm on my deathbed when my natural instincts kick in to where I want to live, and that's my impulse. Yeah. This is what I want as a rational sound-mind body adult at this moment.
I still remember.
So they should honor that.
That's fucking struck me to the bone. The first time, or I'm sorry, the second time they resuscitated him. And when he woke up afterwards, all of us kids and my mom was sitting around the bed.
Yeah.
And when he actually woke up, he looked at us all and he said, "Why am I not dead?"
Oh, shit.
And right there, it was just like, I want to fuck that doctor up.
Yeah.
I even went out after speaking to him for a while.
Oh, man.
I actually went out and I said, "Can I speak to the doctor that resuscitated him?" And the nurse must have seen the look in my face because she said, "Well, he's no longer here." And I was like, that happened half an hour ago.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you guys have 12-hour shifts in ICU. So, yeah.
That was his last patient right before he was going to go home.
Exactly.
He was on his way out.
Yep.
And then he's like, "I'm just going to save this guy's life," because he
asked me to.
Exactly. Yes.
Even though he was pretty much dead and you brought him back and he has a no resuscitation on him.
Yeah,
but he asked you to. He
walked off into the sunset.
Please help me. You know what? How the hell does that work? But when he actually woke up and said that, "Why am I not dead?" I literally wanted to just fuck that doctor up.
Yeah.
And when they told me that, I was going, I bet you they get asked that a couple of times, but they don't care. Because now they get to keep him alive for another 3 months while he's in absolute misery. But they get to pump so much morphine and so much everything else through him that they can charge the insurance out the fucking ass.
Exactly.
That last 3 months of his life, he was in ICU the entire time. ICU is a hell of a lot more spendy to stay over the night in than just a regular hospital room.
Yeah.
They pumped him for money. Not only that, but when he had tests up here, and he went down to a big hospital that's internationally known, that's in Rochester, Minnesota.
What could that be?
I don't know.
Hold the...
But he went down to the big university in the cities as well.
The University of Minnesota?
I'm not saying that.
Oh.
Each one of them pumped him for as much money as they possibly could because he had tests up here,
yeah.
He had tests at the university, then he had tests at the other hospital that name later date, maybe, somewhere. I don't know. I just fear their lawyers. I did speak to a couple of them, but those places, every single time he had tests done at one of them, they would go to the next place and they'd be like, we just can't take their tests, And I was looking at it going, I can understand up here.
Yeah.
Because this isn't really the, epicenter of medical technology.
No.
But at the university,
yeah,
that is another nationally known university
for
it.
They're very
Not
good.
only that, but the one in Rochester, that is world known.
Mm-hmm.
And to have them say, well, we can't take those results. We have to find our own results.
Yeah.
Really? Because I'm pretty sure that you can
CDs.
use the charts that you were just given and probably figure that out.
No shit. I bet you it'll come up with the exact same thing.
Oh, they did. But they had to run it again.
Oh, of course.
And there was a couple of tests that my dad actually told them, no, you are taking those results because I am not going through that again.
Oh, yeah, they're really painful.
Oh, yeah. There was a couple of them, they put a radioactive dye in your blood
Ugh.
so that they can actually chart the progress of where it is. So I'm not kidding you. It kind of turns your veins like a blackish color so they can actually see where it's going.
That's fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, does it hurt too?
That one, he said,
hurts like Wolverine style hurt?
He said that he felt itchy
shield.
everywhere. Like the itch was underneath his skin and he couldn't itch it. And he said he felt so uncomfortable in his own skin when they did it. And it lasted on him for 12, 13 hours.
Oh, that'd be miserable.
Yeah.
Miserable.
So when they told him that they wanted to do it again, he was like, no. You are taking those results. I am never doing that test again.
Yeah.
So if you want results, that's the results.
No shit.
And the best part about it is they wanted to test and test and test and test and test. And finally, when they were all done with tests, that's when they said, yeah, you really have no chance.
Nice. Well, because America, it's not. They should change the name from healthcare to death care, because they're not in the business of health. They're in the
keep you alive
business
for the next week.
They're in the business of death.
Yep.
How can they take as much money from you
before you die?
That is our business.
A fucking Tylenol in the hospital costs like $13.
Yeah, that's. Can't you bring your own?
No, because then they can't make sure that it is what it is.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
I mean, that would be awesome, though. I'd be like, no, I got my own morphine, thanks.
Where did you get this? Don't worry, it's prescribed.
Yeah, exactly.
I got a doctor.
I know a guy in Canada.
Yeah, exactly. He's in the back. He's got a van practice, as I like to call it.
And by that I mean his name is Van.
He likes to practice skateboarding.
Yep, exactly. No, I think it's hilarious on how people are thinking that this Obamacare is going to bankrupt the country. No, that's what's bankrupting the country, because then everybody's got to pay the insurance companies to pay those bills. And if the doctors were any kind of smart, they wouldn't have to take test after test after test after test.
Yeah.
I mean, you should know after one test.
Yeah, how did you get through med school? You didn't have all these tests. All you had was data.
Yeah.
And you sifted through data. That's what you should be doing now. Why would you run new tests to get the exact same data if it wasn't because it was making you money?
Because, like I said, they did it all up until the point where they didn't have any other tests to run, and then they looked at my dad and they went, you know what, you're screwed.
Yeah.
You're just going to die.
But can we test you for other people that we might save in the next 10 years?
See, that was the funny part of those, is the university as well as the big hospital down in Rochester did not want to give the paperwork up.
Yeah, that's no problem.
They wanted to actually just, like, when we told them, no, we want to give it to the Alpha One Society.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we don't do that. So then my mom actually had to request his medical records, and then she had to forward them to the Alpha One, because they would not send it to the Alpha One Society. So you've got doctors that are literally not giving a nonprofit research facility the information on a patient that had it well documented. I mean, went through 3 different hospitals through the same testing.
3 of the best hospitals.
No, 2 of the best hospitals.
Come on, you gotta give St. Cloud. Come on, St. Cloud's the shit. We give staph infections via tissue.
That's what I'm saying. But no, I'm just. I mean, you've got a world-renowned hospital that's like, why would I want to share my data with a nonprofit organization that's trying to advance science in this different type of...
Yeah, that's nonprofit.
You fucking kid. A genetic disease, no matter. I mean, I could understand if they were just like, dude, this guy drank himself to death. Why am I going to give you information so that you can research how people can better drink themselves to death? Or, you know, that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
I mean, I can understand it if you're just going to be a dick about it and be like, no, this is why I want it.
Yeah.
But to have a Alpha One Society who's trying to figure out this disease and eradicate it because it is a genetic disease, he did nothing to get that except be born.
Yeah.
So if you're going to look at it that way, why would you not give that data to a group that could actually use it and advance the science in that particular, you know, that field?
Because they're looking for a cure, not a treatment.
Exactly. Right? So they wouldn't actually send it to the Alpha One, even though my mom was the one that requested it. They said they could only send it to my mom. And then it was kind of funny because that was the only hospital that would. The St. Cloud Hospital, they were like, oh, where do you want that sent?
Well, yeah, because they
don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But the university wouldn't do it, and Rochester wouldn't do it.
Because they pay a lot of money for that research.
No.
And that's their research.
But that's the funny part about it. No, they don't pay a lot of money. They get a lot of money to do that
That is true. Touche.
So I think it's kind of funny that they won't share it with somebody else that can help them advance that research, but they don't want to advance it. They want to keep it going so that the next person that's sick, they do the exact same tests.
Yeah.
And then they compare the test results and go, you're right, he is just as sick as the last guy.
And he's going to die in just as much time.
Yeah.
Well, we got this almost down to a science there, sir.
Well, the point that I always thought was funny about it is...
Doctor?
When I talked to one of the doctors down at the Rochester Hospital, he actually was one of the big wigs on Alpha One. Yeah. He actually was flown in from California to basically research my dad for a week while he was there. And that was it. I mean, I got to talk to him at the one point, and he actually basically step by step walked me through what would happen with my dad. On the fact that his liver cells were eating his lung away, because the liver is what tells your body to send different blood cells to fight infection. So basically what it was is the liver would send cells to the lungs, because every time you breathe in, there's impurities in the air. So at that point, when your lungs say there's impurities in here, normally your liver understands those are just the regular impurities. I mean, you through a lifetime of breathing, that doesn't fool your body.
Yeah.
But there's something about alpha-1 where it doesn't trigger that anymore, and your liver just automatically says everything is fair game if it's not in your body.
That's crazy.
So that's why he had to have the oxygen mask and all that kind of stuff, is so that he would limit the impurities that he had. But still, there was enough that went through, unless he was going to live the rest of his life in a bubble.
Which would have been awesome. They could have made a movie, Bubble Dad.
Bubble Dad. Oh my god, that would have been horrid.
For
a guy like my dad, though, that would have been horrid if he couldn't leave the house, go out in the boat.
Well, he could be like Bubble Boy, and he could make that suit. Bubble Boy.
Yep.
He could just roll around.
Yeah, in winter, he's kind of immobile, but we just keep drilling a hole for him.
No, you can just roll him down sledding hills.
But, yeah, I mean, it was to the point where he actually walked me through that eventually his lungs are just going to be so eaten by his own liver that they will be worthless. And when I asked him about it, being like, so can he get a transplant? And he goes, well, right now, if we gave him a liver transplant, we wouldn't want to do it because his lungs are so bad that we don't think he could actually survive the lungs. Well, can you give him a lung transplant? Well, we won't give him a lung transplant because his liver will still eat away the lungs, and we won't give him lungs because we understand that it's just going to, end up the same way that it is right now. So then I was just like, okay, so are you going to give him a liver and lung transplant? And he looked at me and he actually said, we've attempted that once. And the man didn't make it for more than 12 hours.
Oh, man.
And so literally right there, you just told his son, yeah, he's going to die. There's absolutely no way we can save him.
Oh, 100%.
And I mean, you never want to come up to your dad and say that.
Or you're fucked.
Because at that point, he was still at the, I'm going to beat this. I'm fighting it with everything I got.
That does suck.
And then all of a sudden, you are specifically told by the doctor, yeah, there's absolutely no way we can do anything.
Oh, that does suck.
And that was the worst part about it.
You were told before your dad?
Yes.
Oy.
Before my mom. Because the fact that I straight up asked the doctor, what is this doing?
So is it up to you to break this to your family? Or
no, I actually said, you need to speak to my mom.
Ah, okay. Because you're like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, and my mom spoke to him, and he was just like, well, your son wanted me to inform you exactly what was going to happen on this one. So she wasn't, yeah, it was a bad thing all around.
Well, yeah, I'd imagine.
My whole family was like that with the doctors, so every time we'd go and talk to them, I mean, we were so up in their face, just like, quit giving me bullshit and give me answers to what I'm asking.
Exactly.
I don't think you realize this, because of your white coat, I would still hit you.
Actually, I really want to hit you more.
That's what I'm saying, you pretentious douche.
Yeah, fucking nerd. Fucking nerd's gonna get punched in the face.
Yeah, no doubt. We're still back in high school, bitch. Don't worry about this.
No doubt.
You still have not outgrown this.
No.
I know you make $100,000 an hour. I don't give a shit.
And that's the funny thing.
Drive your Porsche with a black eye.
And that's what I love when people say, well, if you have universal health care like Canada, you'll have the worst healthcare system in the world. And I just look at a lot of our healthcare and I'm like, we don't have the best. I mean, granted, there's a lot of upside to it, but there's still so much that's needed to, needs improvement.
Mm-hmm.
You would definitely not give our healthcare system an A+ by everybody else's standards.
No.
So it's just like, I don't know. I'm in favor of universal healthcare. That's what I'm going to go on record. Bold statement coming from Jake.
It's not too bold, because I'm in favor of it as well. In fact,
it's not bold.
Over 50% of Americans are in favor of it.
Exactly. That's why. But why?
Obamacare doesn't go far enough, but at least it's a start.
Exactly. But what's funny to me is how Britain, as soon as they got just, completely leveled by World War II, the first thing they did was give universal health care.
Yep.
I mean, so that's
well, it bankrupt them because they weren't prosperous after that at all.
No, yeah, exactly.
Because they didn't have any. Well, they had so much economic disaster before our banks failed.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious too. When the opening ceremonies of the Olympics that they had in London, where they even did a kind of a salute to their universal healthcare system, whatever it's called, I can't remember.
Well, it was kind of one of those things where they were just like, "Fuck you, America."
Oh, it was 100%, and all the conservatives picked up on that. Like Fox News was like, "Oh my God, there's propaganding." I can't. That's easy for me to say.
Propaganding?
Yes, whatever that is.
Propagandia? Is it propaganda?
I'm going to go to the wardrobe
Yes,
for propagandia. And you hear all the rhetoric.
I was just going through some irony and I came here. How does the fuck does that work?
Through the curtain of irony, you shall reach. Oh my God, that is... Well, yes, but I kind of lost track of what I was even saying.
I don't know either.
But yes, moving on.
What was the propaganda?
The propaganda? I completely lost track of what we were saying.
Oh.
That is so funny. I got completely lost in this.
We were talking about how Fox News...
Oh, yes! Freaking healthcare!
Yeah.
Universal healthcare, London.
London, they were like, "Fuck you, America."
Yes.
And then the propaganda came out.
Yes, because Fox News, yes. Thank you for helping me out with that. Yes, Fox News basically thought it was propaganda for socialized medicine.
And it was.
Wow, was that such a long way to go for such an insignificant point.
Yeah, it was.
But it was... what about the James Bond Queen jumping out of the helicopter? That was awesome. This is pretty not up-to-date topic.
No, it's not. I mean,
it's
really.
like from like August.
Yeah.
It's like a year ago, but...
And it's London.
That's true.
I'm seriously, London had its heyday, and it's not now.
So, let's talk about present time. So...
Did you hear Abraham Lincoln died?
Breaking news!
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. The President of the United States has died.
So other than that, Mrs. President, how did you like the play?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think the acting was good. Yeah. And all except for that big hole through my husband's head.
Yeah, it was pretty legit.
Yep. I think the ending needs to be revised.
Yeah. So I'm thinking of bidding on some St. Cloud Rocks baseball tickets, the local, minor league squad, tomorrow at the benefit, because I said I was going to donate the kitchen to do the spaghetti dinner at the Eagles Club, which is like $75. So I was like, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw down $75 on something not even close to $75, so at least get something out of my $75. So they actually have a package where St. Cloud Limo donated 2 hours limo service. That's going to come with a package of tickets. I'm not sure how many
strippers.
No, like tickets to the baseball game.
No, but strippers in a limo?
No. Well, we could after the game. We could go to Sugar Daddy's and go to the strip club
and get strippers in the limo.
Well, if we have a limo and we're at a strip club.
That is true. Let's just wear the suits.
I mean, come on. So, but I'm just saying, would you... Because I know there's one package where there's like 8 tickets that I can get that are reserved seating. So, I mean, would like you and Leah and like the nephews and stuff like that, would you guys be interested in going to a Rocks game at all?
That would depend on what day it is, but no.
Come on. It's fun to sit out in the ballpark. I mean, outside, watch some game. Have a beer. I went to one game last year, and it was where they gave out the pint glasses, the Rocks pint glasses. So I was like, awesome.
I have those anyway. Oh, no, I don't have River Bats ones.
Yeah, I got a River Bats one, too. They're defunct now. Now they're the Rocks, Sam.
Collectors?
Last year was the inaugural
It's season. A collector series.
Yeah, did you get the 15th anniversary one?
I don't know.
I do. Boom. Making hay. I'm going to sell that
shit. My Minnesota Wild one just broke today. Bitch.
I'm
going to have to steal another one.
Yeah. It's all right.
I'm going to have to wait until next season, though.
But hey, at least you were drinking Alaskan free ride APA out of your Alaskan Brewery cup. It's pretty awesome.
Well, yeah, I gotta do that.
And I was wearing my Alaskan free ride APA bandana at volleyball on Thursday night.
I got mine around here somewhere. I don't know.
So yeah, sand volleyball every Thursday night with the coworkers. We got 2 teams that are work. 2 different ones. My team is the E-Promos Overruns.
So are you a Maverick or Goose?
I don't know. I'm the captain. They appointed me captain for some reason because of my great leadership skills, I guess.
Sorry, I'm just trying to figure that one out.
Yeah, I know. I was like, why am I
really
captain?
Leadership skills? I mean, like,
when come on, team.
Where should I play, boss? I don't know.
Where I go, what I say to is like, hey, you know what we need to do? We need a bump, and we need to set, and then we need to spike.
Fucking right. I believe that is the proper order.
Yep, and then
if you do that every time, you win.
And communication.
Communication is the key. And give it 110%.
110%.
105 is just not enough for this team.
Not enough. Nope. We need sand in every orifice.
Yeah.
If we are going to win tonight, team. That's my.
I literally want the next time you to shit, you're shitting uncomfortably because you're just like, oh, sweaty.
It's pretty nice because it's co-ed, so get to see nice ladies.
Yeah, but they don't like
jumping around.
They don't even do like fucking tank tops or like.
Yeah.
People in bikinis and shit?
No, I wish. No.
But you said volleyball.
You said tank tops. Yeah, but it's also...
Well, yeah, but you got my hopes up when you said yes to tank tops. I was going, the next step is bikinis.
Well,
even onesies?
If it gets warm enough this summer, we could possibly see it.
Possibly, you say.
I will make it happen. I'm captain. I will say new team.
I will rip the top and the bottom of somebody's shirt so they have to hold it up like that,
Exactly. I'm captain. I'm going to make that new policy.
You bikini, you parka.
That's exactly how it would go. You got that.
In fact, if you have a hood on that parka, it might work for me better. Just cinch it down a bit. You can still see. You're a vital part of the team. Stand over there.
You don't know how dead on you are with my team. It is exactly like that. 3 guys, 3 girls. And 2 of them are like, yes, bikini. The other, not so much. And it's weird because that girl, the not so much, her fiance, he just got a job working at that company I work for. And oh my God, does he like wants to be me. It's so weird. Even my bosses said that. He just go, because I'm like, was asking like, so all the newbies, working out. And he's like, oh yeah, this guy, he really wants to be you. He's so weird. I'm like,
I'm just going to say, being my best friend, if you're going to shoot for somebody else's personality, you're not a bad one to get.
I suppose. But he kind of looks like me.
Maybe I'd like him.
Yeah, exactly. No, he's really socially awkward and annoying. But he just...
Like you weren't when I first met you? You didn't talk to anybody.
But I wasn't annoying.
My sister didn't even know you could speak for like the first 2 years of knowing you.
But I wasn't annoying.
Oh, you weren't annoying.
Because I didn't say anything.
You never said anything.
So, ching! That makes me awesome. Doesn't that make you the best person in the world? A person that doesn't say anything?
That is true.
You have no opinion. You can't get criticized.
The thing is, though, like with your personality... You could meet another person with your personality and you'd be just fine about it. Like you guys, you could actually make it friends with somebody with your own personality.
Oh, 100%.
Somebody with my personality, if I meet them, we are instantly at each other's throat.
Oh,
like, I will fucking kill you.
Like you and Becca. Because you two had like the same type A personality.
Yeah, except for Becca was stupid.
Wow, that's probably the nicest thing you've said about her ever.
Probably. And that's because I am on record on this one. I don't want any of this shit coming back to me at court.
That is too funny. Yeah, I know, because I've always noticed that, just hanging out with you whenever we get into situations where there's another person that has to be center of attention, there's always friction between you and them. You just both have to have the last word.
But that's another reason why I've always said people around me should pick their words carefully.
That's probably why me and you are friends, is because I'm very calculated. I don't say much, but what I do say, I say carefully.
It's the same way with me, though. Is somebody speaking to me and they say the wrong thing, or they say the wrong thing out of context, especially if somebody's trying to make fun of you or belittle you in any way,
exactly.
And they fuck up on the wording, or they trip over their own sentence, and that to me is just hilarious. Because to me, that just says that you're a fucking idiot, and two, that you seriously should not be trying to outwit someone. But yet it always happens. Most people with the personality that I have don't think about what they're going to say. They just think they're too cool for school or something. They're just like, whatever, I'm just so much cooler than everybody else. And
because I'm louder, and I surround myself with people that are just pushovers, so nobody ever challenges me in my point of view.
Yeah.
That's how most people that are loudmouths typically do, because you can't have a constant battle for alpha male.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to say that I'm like the smartest person in the world or anything, but I'm definitely above the average person. Mm. And to me, I look at it as common sense has pretty much died. And that pisses me off to no extent. In fact, when I start talking to people that you can tell do not have common sense, and just think every stupid little thing that comes to their mind should be documented or should be brought out.
As we are recording a podcast.
We actually have topics that we are picking to talk about at this one.
That's true.
But, I don't understand the social media that we have nowadays. Well, apparently, just because I'm not
part of it.
Yeah, I got the South Park reference of the Facebook thing, because that's exactly how it happened with me. It's like, oh, you don't have a Facebook, babe? Well, you should definitely make one. Well, why? Because then we could be Facebook friends. Yeah. But we're friends in real life. So, you don't want to be friends with me on Facebook?
It was mostly your girlfriend at the time now, wife, Leah.
And then she got pissed off at me because I never changed the status of it. And I was sitting there like, I don't go on it.
That was the best part. I remember you and me were sitting there, it was fall when you if you guys got married, we were watching hockey. Watching the Wild game, sitting on your couch, and you get a message on your phone, Facebook, like, Leah wants you to confirm this change of her status to married, and you're like, decline. And then all of a sudden, 3 seconds later from upstairs, what the
fuck? You better fucking take this one.
Yeah. Oh my god, that was the best. I laughed so hard. Decline. Wait for it.
That literally is how I said it too. I remember that. Decline. You had no idea what I was talking about until what the fuck?
And then you just start rolling like, is she trying to get the info? Change the status to
that is fucking awesome. I forgot about that. Yeah, that was probably one of my funnier parts about the whole marriage thing. But yeah, I never go on Facebook, so I think it's funny. I have so many people, I'll get those messages on my phone, because unfortunately it has to be tied into the phone. I don't know how to untie it, so I'm pretty fucked on that one. But, that's why it is because I got one of those phones that has Oogle. And
the CIA run Oogle.
And it has to have the web address tied to it, so when you get the Facebook bullshit, it automatically does it, whatever. There's programs on the phone that I can't take off, even though I'd love to do it.
Oh, yeah.
And it just won't allow me to. And that's one of them. So I automatically get all those stupid little, somebody has poked you.
That's dirty.
Yeah, and I just exit out and never even look at it.
I think if I was going to do anything, it'd probably be Twitter. It seems the least invasive.
Except for the fact that I don't understand why every single thought that runs through my mind should be documented.
But you don't have to do that. I mean, I think more for me is, I think the way I would use it more is just digesting information, basically the zeitgeist of our culture. That's pretty much where that's like the town square nowadays, where everything's happening, all the gossip, all the bullshit. That's where it all breaks first. That's the social community of all the information. So it'd be kind of nice to be tapped into that, so you can get all this crazy stuff instead of sifting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like I have my few sites that I go to that I enjoy, that it seems to have pertinent information that, you know, is relevant to my, you know, worldview and what I want to look up. Mm-hmm. And but it'd be kind of interesting to get like a whole, like, because there's like all these crazy sites like Reddit that's supposed to be where people get a lot of their shit. I've never even looked at it.
Yeah.
But they reference it everywhere. It's just, I feel so disconnected from everything. But it's like, I don't have time to keep up with all this shit. And that's what probably would frustrate.
Social media guy.
That's probably what would frustrate me about Twitter is I would just, the information overload.
Yeah.
And you know what? The studies are coming out and saying that smartphones are actually making people more depressed. It's because you feel so much more detached from reality.
I actually like it just because of the one thing is when I go and take my morning shit, I sit there with my phone and I've got 3 different social medias that I go to. I've got a USA Today app.
Well, not social media. That's more or less news.
Well, I shouldn't say social media.
Well, unless you write comments and shit on those like stories, don't you?
Oh, I blog.
Yeah.
But I don't blog to the point of...
You don't have like your own blog.
Yeah, I don't do it on my computer or anything just because my phone is always tied in. And on USA Today, you have to use your Facebook account. So if I do it, it already ties into my Facebook account.
Nice.
No, it doesn't make a comment on your Facebook account.
It doesn't put it on your wall?
No, it puts it on the story, but they make it so that you can't be anonymous. You have to have a Facebook account to make a comment.
Bogus.
So you can't be anonymous on their website.
I don't like that.
I actually do, because then you have to stand behind the comments that you make.
No, because that kills the whole fun of being a troll, damn it. I like to. That's my whole thing.
That's a douche.
I've never written a comment on any.
I love going after trolls, though, because trolls are the easiest ones. They're just trying to make a point, and then when you actually catch them on something, you're going, "Ooh, why are you mad?"
Yeah, sometimes they're not even there to make a point. A lot of times they're just there to derail the conversation off of something that's fucking real.
Yeah, but that's stupid. Nobody bites on those. The real trolls are the ones that actually try to rile things up, and then you make a comment back on them just being like, "Your ignorance is showing, and here's why." You know, and then they always come, "Why are you mad?" Because you're stupid. And to come back to me saying that you were asking a real question is absolutely redundant. If you're going to think that way, you're not going to be asking that question, because then you're not even going to understand the topic that we're on anyway. So if you've got to ask that question, you're on the wrong page.
Yeah.
So blogging might not be your cup of tea. And I love, this is my signature, and maybe some of you have read of this on some blogs that I have been part of. But my favorite line is to end it of all time. It has to be it's better to be thought of as a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt.
Amen.
Just food for thought.
Just that. Just food for thought. Mull that over.
Exactly. And that's probably one of my favorite lines that my dad ever taught me. Once again, I'll say it. It's better to be thought of as a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt.
Absolutely.
And those are words that I have taken to heart, and that's exactly why it's come full circle to why I'm saying choose your words carefully when you're speaking to me.
Hey. Why do you think I was so quiet when you first met me?
Probably.
A lot of it with me, why I think I even to this day, I'm still kind of quiet when I first get into a social situation, because it's more or less I dissect it. I try to figure out the archetypes of the personalities. I try to figure out the dynamics, and then I basically cater my personality to what I decipher for the room's chemistry.
Oh, see, that's why you're well liked.
Exactly. I am
morph. I walk into the room and I go, "Hey, here's me."
Exactly. I'm changing the whole chemistry. I see.
You like me. If not, fuck off.
Exactly. And I'm more or less just the chameleon type, where if I need to be the outgoing leader guy, I do that. If I'm just going to be the one-time, one-liner, in the background while somebody else leads the show, I'll do that too.
I can't. No, I can't. I've always got a voice to put in. That's just my personality. Very few times can I actually just sit on the sidelines and say, yes, I will do that, without any kind of, advice, or I'm just going to say it. I'm not, like I said, I'm not the smartest person in the world. Never said I was. But common sense is something that I do have.
Yeah.
And I am very black and white logical.
Oh, yeah.
It's right or wrong.
Oh, 100%.
So, I'm just.
That's almost
an
an understatement coming from you.
Well, for the most part,
that it's black and white.
Yeah.
That's sad to say. That's almost an understatement.
I would have honestly said it was just kind of white and
or just black.
Yeah, exactly.
Negative all the way through.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna go there.
I will. I'll throw you under that fucking bus. But moving forward.
Yes, exactly.
Moving on.
I just will honestly say that's always been a pet peeve of mine, is if somebody wants to be loud and stupid.
Yeah.
It's one thing to be loud. I'm loud.
Yeah.
But it's another thing to be loud and stupid.
Exactly. You're a smart ass, not a dumb ass.
But I've always
ass.
came to the conclusion, though, that if you're going to be stupid, you got to be tough. And I would love to test stupid people that were really loud.
That is true.
Let's see how tough you are.
A lot of them are fucking tough, or they're dead.
No, a lot of them aren't.
Oh my god, I met this.
Once you go into them, though, a lot of them are just like, well, I don't know how to teach this.
When I was in Iowa, Andrea's cousin, he was just... when I first met him, we went out to dinner with him, and he just seemed off. Like, weird, strange. And so... I was sitting next to him, and he takes all this, like, really hot sauce, puts it on his burrito and stuff, and then he just starts mowing it down, and all of a sudden you can just see him sweating.
What is he, like, trying to impress you, or...?
I have no idea. No, I just don't think he understood what was going on. He just seemed a little off, but he was a charming guy. We got along great.
Okay.
Because, I'm used to those people.
I don't know where this is going.
I know, but I'm just saying, so we would leave the restaurant... And I kind of asked Andrea about it when we were driving back to...
like, is he a little slow, or...?
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? And she's like, yeah, he kind of did a lot of drugs when he was younger.
That's why you get along with him.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was like one of the guys in the red chair.
Yep. That's what it reminded me of. That's why I was so comfortable around him. And I guess she was telling me that...
These your types of peeps.
Yeah, he actually got bludgeoned like 4 times in the head with a hammer. Like, she wouldn't go into details as to what went down. She's just like, yeah, that's just kind of the type of people that he hung out with.
He owed somebody some money.
He fucked somebody over.
Yeah.
And he got nailed in the head with a hammer.
That'll do some damage.
Oh, yeah. So it was, combination of being like a hardcore burnout and
actually being struck in the head with something very blunt.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
And, I mean, it was like that plus, like, somebody, like, what the fuck was it? Like, somebody poked him, like, jabbed a pool cue in his eye, too. Like, that's why...
Like he's blinded?
No, his eyes kind of all wonky.
What the fuck is wonky?
I don't know. It just seemed right at the time.
I have no knowledge of what this means. I'm just making it up because it feels right.
It does. I think I've heard... Somebody else said that said wonky before.
Nobody's ever said that.
Come on, I could not have just coined a goddamn adjective.
This is like one of those horrible bosses moments where it's like, yeah, that's a line.
That's a line. No, it's not.
But somebody said it. No, they haven't. Moving on.
But that to me was just like, I don't know how people could ever get involved in situations like that. I mean, the most sketchy situation I almost got myself involved in when I was like 13 years old. I actually agreed to get beat into the Bloods.
Nice.
Don't ask me.
You probably don't want to put that on record.
Why?
Now they're going to be like, dude's already a part of us. You can't get out, man.
No, I chickened out.
Oh, okay.
I chickened out. I didn't go. And then, like, my buddy and then, like, a few of the other people that I knew that were going to beat me in, they're like, I'll call and leaving messages on my answering machine.
Yo, dude, you didn't show up
for your beat, you punk ass motherfucker. And I'm just sitting there, like, at the time, I'm like, when the time was approaching, I wasn't scared of, like, getting my ass beat. It was more or less of, what the fuck am I doing? I'm in fucking St. Cloud, Minnesota. Why would I want to be a part of the Blood? I mean, it just didn't make sense to me. It really had nothing to do with getting my ass beat. I wasn't scared of that. It just did not make sense. I'm like, why am I doing this? Nothing good is going to come.
It was a bunch of white boys that were doing that anyway. It wasn't the Bloods. It was just them calling themselves the Bloods.
It was a couple Mexicans. Yeah, so basically, that's pretty much what it is. It was pretty much a bunch of kids from Park ghettos that decided they wanted to be Bloods, and they're like, if you want to be a part of this...
By the way, that's Park Meadows. It's just a local slang.
But
For anybody who doesn't live around here,
doesn't matter.
it's not Park Ghettos.
Yes, it is.
Who would name their place that? It's Park Meadows. Anyway.
But that was probably the stupidest thing I've ever agreed to do, and luckily I didn't follow through with it, because that was just asinine. I don't know why the fuck at 13... but that's when the whole, like, gang craze was cool.
That's when Tupac was at...
It was! I had subscription to The Source. I'll admit it.
Yeah, that's true.
My favorite movie was Colors.
One of my favorite TV shows was In Living Color.
That's so benign, Black. That's
Wayne's brother.
Yeah, that's friendly Black.
That's like Medina.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's Tyler Perry Black.
Yep.
That's Bryant Gumbel Black.
Gumble to Gumble.
Yep, or fucking Wayne Brady.
Why do white people love Wayne Brady so much? Yeah, that to me is kind of hilarious, and why anybody would do something stupid like that.
Exactly.
I understand the whole mentality of, keep yourself safe and everything like that.
Yeah.
But if you really have to get into large groups of people to maintain your safety, why are you not doing something to improve your situation? Like, this is what I have to ask, though.
We might get into a difficult discussion about this, where you're talking about how people can't better themselves. Like,
No, they don't want to.
But I think they can't.
Dude, look at it this way. They idolize the situation that they're in the way that it is. Like, somebody in the ghetto is, what I'm looking at is, okay, so they start being in a gang, and then all of a sudden you're supposed to be in the gang forever?
Yeah, blood in, blood out, motherfucker.
This is what I'm trying to say, is why can't you just make your money and get the fuck out?
Because it doesn't work like that.
Why not?
Because this is illicit. This is the true definition of, like, getting fired, where they burn down your house
But
to
that's
kick
what
you
I'm
out.
saying.
This is blood in, blood out. Great movie also, by the way.
But if they were smart about it, that's what they would do. They'd be like, all right, well, let's stay in here until I make $20,000, and then I'll train somebody else in, and I'll take off, and I'll go to a better place.
But you can't trust a motherfucker not to turn coat and become narc when he's rich, and just, narc on your whole organization. That's why you don't let them. That's why they're either in or they're dead.
They're just stupid.
But see, if people wouldn't turn and narc, if they made their 20 mil off the crack game, then they probably would franchise it like that, because their business model is literally set up like a McDonald's franchisee. They have the different sections, but I think that's the problem, is because you can't trust somebody to get out and then just be like, oh, how are you going to retire from that? How are you going to explain your income? How can you live?
Well, I'm not saying you're going to retire. I'm saying you're getting out, like, get $5-10 grand, get the fuck out of there, get to a different area where you can actually get a different job, or you can live a different life.
Yeah.
Like, 10 grand will get you to a new place where you can have first and last month rent, and that's enough to start you up for a couple of months. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying. Anytime that somebody says that they can't make it out, are you kidding me? There's been a lot of people that have made it out of that. There's a lot of rural areas in this country. All you got to do is save some money. Even if it's not 10 grand. I mean, shit, get 2 or 3 grand.
I would have to say you are right, but the deck is...
They just don't do
the
it.
deck is stacked against them a lot more than it is...
Once again, we're coming back to the same discussion that you had a little while ago. People are creatures of habit.
That is
If
true.
you're born into this is what you know.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
not really looking at anything else. You're looking at just this.
Yeah.
So it comes down to the point of when you are born into it, that's all you know. You don't have the mind frame to actually leave what you know, because that's scary. So instead of leaving what you know, you stay in a scary situation. And I'm not saying that everybody can actually even do this.
I mean, the same
A
thing can be
majority
said-
of people can, though.
Yeah, but you are right, because that can even be said for people in...
Abusive situations.
Yes, or lower, even a lower...
But people don't do it.
Middle class, where it's like, all you'd have to do is move somewhere else and you can make more money.
Perfect point, though. Like, we were just abusive situations.
Yeah.
A chick that gets beat all the damn time by her boyfriend or her husband. You could get out of the way.
But she deserves it, Sam.
Yeah, exactly. What she's doing is she's just putting herself into it going, this is what I know.
And that's the sad thing, and
it's easier to stick with what you know
100%.
than it is to get another perspective on how life works.
And would it go back to that's how you were raised because that's what you know as normality? Because I've seen,
Exactly.
I've dated a lot of girls, I've been around a lot of girls that are damaged.
Yeah.
So when they, date me and I'm relatively normal and stable, and I came from a pretty normal household where I don't crave drama and all this bullshit. And then you get with these girls that they need it. And I remember, having one girl actually tell me, she's like, it weirds me out that you don't get mad at me for stuff.
Well, I will
That's
honestly say this,
weird.
though. We spent a lot of time and effort getting rid of drama in our life.
Yeah.
But being like, you know what, I'm going to stop hanging around that person. Why? Because every time I do, they've got a new story for me. And all I said was, hey, how's it going? And then I ended up listening to 45 minutes about how his new girlfriend's fucking around and how his kids are being bitches. Well, that'll happen when they have 8 different moms,
Yeah, no shit.
You have a brood of children and, that kind of stuff, it's just, it just doesn't entice me anymore.
No.
Because you know me, I'm just not an empathetic or sympathetic person.
100%.
But the reason that I'm not is because if you're in a bad situation, it must be because you like it.
Oh,
There's
you're getting something out of it.
Always a way out of the situation. The only thing that's stopping anybody from changing their situation is their mind frame.
100%, because that's even scientifically proven with your neural net.
Mm-hmm.
They freaking the neurons in they wire.
Do
Literally,
you think guys like
the
Donald Trump
responses.
are the way they are because they were savvy, good businessmen? No, it's
They're
because he is
sociopaths.
absolutely enticed on himself. He
Yeah.
is to the point where he needs the world to know his name. And that's why he puts his fucking name on every building that he builds. This is the Trump Towers, this is the Trump Mini Towers, this is the Trump Suite, this is the Trump Elevator.
The Trump
it's just-
copter.
Yeah, I mean, he has to do that because that's how his mind works. If he didn't obtain that, he'd be another one of these guys that shot himself, and that's all.
Yeah.
Like, if he didn't obtain that kind of stardom, he would kill himself. People do it every single day because they cannot perform that.
Yeah.
And they need that. Either, there's a lot of different ways on why people kill each other. Or kill each other, but kill themselves is what I'm mainly trying to say here. And there's a lot of reasons on why people do it. Autoerotic asphyxiation. But you need a spotter.
Safety
That's all I'm
first.
saying. A spotter.
Safety first.
A belt friend, if you will.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying is there's a lot of different kinds of people in the aspect of how your mind works. And he is definitely one of those guys that either people know his name or he's not happy.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're one of those people, you will do whatever it takes to make that. And I will say, he is 1 in 1,000 people that try that make it that big.
Yeah.
The majority of people with his kind of conditions, they do make it, better off in monetary and all that kind. But they're never happy because they always want more.
Yeah, it's a
So
psychological
it's that
disease.
give and take. I'm happy with what I have. I would like more.
Yeah.
But I'm happy with what I'm not happy with what I have.
I agree with Biggie.
I'm accustomed to what I have.
I agree with Biggie. Mo money, mo problems.
Yeah.
100%. I agree with Biggie.
Well, there's a differential though, because if you get Trump money, if you have
what? No money?
yes,
only money
because it's all
Trump's
tied
got is
up
from
in everything.
Yeah, The Apprentice.
But what I'm trying to say though is, if you have the kind of money where you're putting your name on high rises and shit like that, you have stepped on people. You have burned bridges.
yes.
You have made enemies.
Dude,
If you could honestly say, I have $1 billion plus, or in his case, I have put up $1 billion building,
yeah.
and then right next to it another $1 billion building, I have my fucking name on both of them. No, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're that kind of an egotistical son of a bitch, you had to do that.
Yeah.
If he did not perform that, he had a fucking shotgun in his mouth.
You think so?
Oh, of course. There's hundreds of people that do that every day because they finally realize, shit, not everybody's going to be a Trump.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be a Trump.
Well, I wouldn't either because, like I said,
I have
he was the one
self-respect
that
and
actually
dignity.
had that kind of drive where he was like, I need to do this. And not only that, but he had the access to do it.
Yeah.
It's not just the want. You have to be able to see what avenue to take as well.
That is true.
or have it at least presented to you.
A lot of people have the desire.
Yeah.
Not many have the follow-through.
Exactly.
And so, I mean, you got to give him a bit of credit just
I give him a lot of credit for
ambition.
What he has accomplished.
Yeah.
But I don't
Other
give
than
him
that,
much credit for anything else.
No. And it's hard even to do for what you accomplished, because what did you really accomplish? He's pretty much been broke over and over, and really his only business is reality TV. So...
and going on Fox News and saying that he's going to be president and then he's not going to be president.
Exactly. I mean, that's just the whole thing.
That's how you can say, though, that I will honestly say, I just want to say this real quick. That's how you can say that he is one of the biggest egotistical assholes the fucking planet has ever seen. Is he can actually go on to an organization and not just say, I'm going to run for president. But he says... I'm going to be your next president.
Well, you have to be confident if you're going to do that.
The one thing that I honestly will say, and I have no idea why Bill Maher never said it that I know of anyway. Maybe somebody did, maybe somebody didn't, but I never heard it. How is it that no comedian ever used so if he does make president, is he going to put Trump on the White House? Because that's literally the first thing that I thought about was, shit, that's going to tear down the value of the White House.
Yeah, 100%.
All of a sudden, there's Trump on all fucking sides.
Oh, don't even say that.
It's going to be the Trump house now.
It makes me sick to my stomach just thinking about it.
Pennsylvania Avenue will never be the same.
Oh, God damn.
Because then the Trump towers are going next to the White House. And
Jeez.
I can see that. DC Trump towers. Yeah, I don't know. There's something about it, though. I mean, you've got to be a special person to have that kind of asshole niche.
You got to be a sociopath. Those are the only people that get into power.
Pretty much. Well, not all the time. There are the majority of the time that sociopaths get in, but there are the very minority.
When you go to the tippy top, when you start getting to the top echelons of power, you can't make it there without being a sociopath, because only sociopaths crave that much control.
I wouldn't say that, because history has been full of the one-timers that are just like, you know what? I'm doing this because I actually believe in the fucking place that we're doing this.
Then they get the back of their head blown off.
They usually get beat.
Yeah, or shot in the head.
But the fun part about it is the politicians that are in place there actually at least finally realize that this is what they're actually up against. That, they might have narrowly won. Like Michelle Bachmann.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, she's so stupid that she never changed her mind.
Well,
she looked at it and went, I had 50% plus 0.5.
Yeah. Well, that's just, she's delusional like that.
You won the fucking ballots by a couple hundred votes.
She has to be delusional. Her husband is gay. And she doesn't see this. Or she does, and everything's an act to her, I think.
No, she knows. He just knits awesome sweaters.
And it's a marriage of show. Kind of almost like the Clinton marriage, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
It really is. That's why I was,
I can't respect our district for even having her. I mean, that literally having her 100%. Talk on national television when she said, "Well, I'm gonna vote I'm gonna go for president." Don't you know? Seriously, Palin didn't even sound that stupid when she was up there.
Yeah. Well, that was the best part. When I lived in California, they'd be like, "Oh, where are you from?" I'd talk to people because they would pick out my accent.
Mm-hmm.
Think I'm from Canada. Like, no, I'm from Minnesota. And then, me, I'm kind of a political guy. I like to talk about that shit. So I'm like, yeah, I guess who my representative is? Michelle Bachmann. And even, don't you know? And even people that weren't even really that political were just like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. And I'm like, yeah. That's why I left. But then my stupid ass came back.
I didn't want to tell people I was from there.
Yeah,
but you asked.
Yeah, then my stupid ass came back.
Should have been from Wisconsin. Because at that point, Ryan wasn't in.
You mean, yeah. Scott Walker.
Oh, that douche. Oh, seriously. I can honestly say he just smells like chemicals. Because...
like vinegar.
Oh, he's got his fucking hand in every pocket that he possibly can.
Oh, yeah. sucking Koch brother.
Oh, Jesus, is he like that one radio station that called him and was like, yeah, this is Koch brothers, we're going to fly you out here. That sound good, sir. Like, he was just, I don't know why I gave him a southern accent there.
He's from Wisconsin.
Exactly. But, like, he was just such a pussy on the phone with him, like, I would love to come out to your ranch. Tickle the balls. Like, he did. He just sounded like he just got punked or something. And then at the very end, and I can't believe I just used the term punked. But at the very end when he did the, this is not the Koch brothers, this is the radio station. And then all of a sudden, just like, are you kidding me? Did you actually think the Koch brothers were going to call you up and talk like that on fucking telephone?
No shit.
They would send a private carrier that would shoot himself after giving you the message before doing that on the phone.
But when the boss calls, you answer.
But you know what I'm saying? If you're going to actually think that you work for these guys.
Yeah.
And with the reputation that they have of actually changing government with the money they spend.
Yeah.
The one brother found a cure for his type of cancer. That's the kind of money this fucking family has. While a third brother always tries to turn them in. You know what I'm saying?
They need to make a movie about this.
They will. Don't worry.
To.
But, you know what I'm saying? This is what the family is all about. How could you not think that maybe they know their shit a little bit? I mean, seriously, this family has that kind of money where they can tell a government what to do.
Yeah, exactly.
While their other brother is trying to turn them in for doing this. And they still do it.
Yes.
In the plain sight of everybody else, with their other brother going, they're doing it!
Yeah, now the Supreme Court has made it legal.
Exactly.
And reinforced it.
Because of their money.
Yeah, exactly. We need to get a 501c3.
So seriously, that's how much money this fucking family has, is 2 of 3 were for something, and it still passed.
Yeah.
You know, like, they all put all of their personal fortunes up for this shit, which is the same family's money.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I think is hilarious, is this family has been speculated throughout the years of literally spending billions of dollars.
On elections?
On politicians, on everything.
Yeah.
Billions of dollars. Like, what they're estimated to have spent, 2 of them for, 1 against, has been more than what Bill Gates has ever seen.
What? But
they funneled it through different fucking channels, and now it's so legal that they don't need to funnel. Now those other channels are closing.
That is ridiculous.
Because they're not even accountable for the money that they give because it's anonymous. So now they can just literally write a personal check going, $1 million, and I don't need to cover this and spend $200 million more on all the companies that were shell companies that I was spending this through. Now they can spend all that money just to them. Jeez. And they literally, and this is what I do think is funny, is it is estimated that they actually had about 6,000 jobs of people that worked for a shell company to answer a phone every now and then going, blah, 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 how can I help you? And that's literally all they did, was just answer the phone every now and then. Probably had to do with, they probably fucking paid one phone company or, like call center to call all of these companies just to have the fucking, the one person working there being like, blah, 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 can you hold? They didn't think that they had no job.
Yes.
But yeah, I can't believe that. When I actually dove deeper into the Koch brothers and found out that they literally had about 6,000 jobs that were just for shell companies. So that they could give money to political candidates. 6,000 jobs? Well, that tells you right there that nobody has ever respected the you can't give more than this law.
Yeah.
They just found a way around it.
Oh, 100%.
So literally they would spend if you can't, they say, well, you can't get more than 50,000. All right, well, I'll spend 20,000 so that I can give you 50,000 more, and then I'll spend another 20,000 so I can give you 50,000 more. Like, that's the kind of money they have. How do you do that?
By stealing it.
Fucking right you do. By putting the shit out of country.
Yeah. Did you hear about that? God, Koch brothers just pissed me off.
Yeah, I think we should stop with that one. Maybe we should just come the revolution.
Speaking of come the revolution, though, did you hear about this guy that's going out saying he wants to have an armed march on Washington?
Yes.
July 4th?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And did you also hear that was answered
badass.
with, do you know what would happen if you had an armed march?
Well, they're not going to be loaded, per se. Hey, it is their constitutional right. That was decided.
To wave weapons down Pennsylvania Avenue?
It was decided by the Supreme Court 5 years ago that the district and any city does not have the right to make laws to prevent you from carrying firearms. And that's what they're doing.
They can't be concealed.
Exactly. They're not gonna. They're gonna have them strapped. Basically, they're all gonna be rifles and shotguns strapped behind, over their back, not loaded. And
I bet you the Secret Service has a fucking heyday with that one.
Yeah. And the real thing is what kind of provocateur is going to co-opt this for the government to make them ban guns and say, basically be an agent of the government and then create a fucking, a tragedy or some incident, which then gives them the right to be like, oh, we demonize you because look, this is what you've done. And they've done that in protests for the, WTO,
Yep.
the G20. They've always been provocateurs, union organizing way back in the 50s.
Yep.
So that's government practice. So that's what scares me about the whole thing.
Wow.
Is you're going to do this, and you're basically opening yourself up for somebody to co-opt this and make it completely work against the cause you're trying to further.
So that, to sum up, should be like the positive of this whole podcast is think for yourselves, choose your words carefully,
And stay well armed.
stay well armed,
No, I'm just kidding.
but not concealed.
Not concealed. Within the law.
Yes. And
Come the revolution.
I'm Sam Reckner,
This is Jake Jelinski.
signing off.
Peace.